Chapter 21, The Last Prince of the Forgotten Citadel. The citadel emerged from beneath layers of earth and magic, rising like a sleeping giant from ancient stone. This was the realm erased from maps, guarded by spells that made even memory forget it existed. But Estevan had always felt it. He didn't know why until now. They stepped through a gate carved in starlight, vines pulling back like nervous fingers. The citadel's halls whispered in a language only bloodlines understood. "This place knows you," Elian whispered to Estevan. Ayana scanned the glyphs. It's comedian tech, but mixed with celestial data, something from before time truly divided. And then they found him. The last prince. He stood at the altar of the great hall, eyes closed, bathed in golden blue flame. Dreadlocks down to his back, aura humming like a storm barely restrained. His skin was laced with constellations, and a sigil pulsed on his neck that mirrored Estevan's own. He opened his eyes slowly. "I've been waiting for you, brother." Gasps. Silence. Even Ayana froze. "Brother?" Estevan whispered. The prince stepped down, smiling. "You were taken, hidden. She, our mother, Verelda, split us to protect you. She thought you'd escape fate." Estevan's knees weakened. I am Kalen, keeper of the citadel, firstborn of the rift." Estevan couldn't speak. His heartbeat shook the room. Kalen turned to the rest. "You've come far, and now the citadel gives you the weapon she's feared most, the unified royals. Together, we are the storm." As he raised his hand, the citadel glowed brighter than the sun. Weapons rose from the ground, one for each teammate, forged by their own trials. But the moment was shattered by a scream. Cursed Zephyr, Verelda's Shadow Knight, burst through the barrier. Zephyr turned, locking eyes with his dark twin. "This fight's mine." The team tried to hold him back, but he stepped forward, ready to face the version of himself he feared he could still become. Then the sky broke. Thousands of cursed soldiers fell from it, howling, shrieking, burning the ground where they landed. Elian raised his bow. Nyla charged her blade. Ayana extended her arms as tech armor bloomed from her back. Battle had begun, but not everyone would make it out. One of them falls. As the cursed version of Nyla rushes Estevan with a corrupted blade, someone steps in front of him. A flash of red, a cry. Elian. The blade goes straight through his chest. Vines lash out violently, wrapping the cursed Nyla until she burns away. Elian collapses, smiling faintly. "I got to protect something beautiful." And he fades in Estevan's arms. Chapter 22, The War at the Gates. The sound of Elian's last breath hadn't even faded before the battlefield exploded in fire and shadow. Estevan stood, Elian's body cradled in his arms, his eyes locked on the swarm of cursed soldiers flooding through the torn sky. Ayana screamed in fury, launching electric waves from her palms. Nyla's blade glowed hot red, fueled by heartbreak. Zephyr stood motionless, staring at his cursed twin, lips trembling, eyes filled with storms. And Kalen, his entire body ignited with celestial fire. "You want to end a bloodline?" Kalen whispered, voice shaking the walls. "Come taste the flame it was born from." The battle begins. At the front gate, Ayana and Nyla fought back to back, blades clashing with corrupted tech soldiers. Ayana syncing their moves with neural pulses while Nyla guarded her blind spots. A cursed version of Ayana appeared, cold, fully robotic, no soul left. She locked onto her real self, saying, "You could have saved us all, but you chose love." "Love is salvation," Ayana snapped, and she short-circuited the clone with a precision strike to its neural core. In the outer towers, Kalen and Estevan held the high ground. Kalen summoned star magic from the citadel itself, while Estevan unlocked his sigil's second phase, bridge form, where his body became translucent, moving between moments of time, dodging attacks before they even began. But something was happening inside Estevan. Elian's death had awakened the true bridge, a power to merge light and shadow, future and past. In the inner courtyard, Zephyr finally stepped toward his cursed twin. "You're what I could have been," he said. "What I feared I was." Cursed Zephyr lowered his blade. "You are me, and you belong with us." The two clashed in the air, wings colliding in a vortex of wind and storm. Feathers burned, lightning split them, and finally Zephyr emerged, barefoot, bloodied, but whole. His cursed self lay still on the ground. "I forgive you," Zephyr whispered. "Now disappear." Back at the throne room, the citadel pulsed in pain. The barrier was cracking. Kalen turned to Estevan. You have to open the inner gate. Only the bridge can. That's where her final army waits. Estevan's body trembled. He turned to his friends, his family, and nodded. Let's end this. Chapter 23. The Gate of Versions. The inner gate loomed like the end of the world, black steel shaped from collapsed timelines, each bar humming with echoes. Screams whispered from within, unfinished lives, voices crying out in loops. Kalen placed a hand on the lock. You sure about this, baby bro? Estevan's eyes glowed white. If we don't face what we were, we can't become what we're meant to be. He placed his palm to the sigil-locked gate. It recognized him instantly. It opened. Inside the chamber, time twisted like a hurricane. Fragments of reality floated midair, moments that never existed, regrets made real. And then they emerged, the infinite army. Not beasts, not demons, but copies, each one a failed version of the team. An Ayana who sold out to the machine gods, a Nyla who ruled alone, bitter and cold, a Zephyr consumed by vengeance, dozens of Estevans, some cruel, some broken, some already wearing Verelda's crown. And at the center of them all, standing tall and still, Verelda. You finally come, she whispered, voice echoing across every version of herself. Estevan stepped forward, his team flanking him. I'm not afraid of you anymore. You should be, she said gently, because I didn't come to kill you. I came to give you your truth. Verelda raised a hand. The floor vanished. Estevan's birth unfolded like a vision. He saw himself, a baby, born with both Kalen and Verelda watching. But there were more than two realms at war. There were 16. Estevan had been created, not just born, as a bridge, a living vessel that contained multiversal power. Verelda hid this truth from him to protect him and herself. Kalen turned, stunned. You made him a weapon. No, Verelda said softly. I made him a choice. The ground shook. The infinite army moved forward, each copy whispering doubts. But the team didn't falter. They closed ranks, readied blades, powered up, and Estevan raised his voice. I see what you're trying to do. I see my broken pieces. I see what I could have been. He reached out his hand and merged with one of the fallen versions of himself, then another and another, becoming whole in ways he'd never been. I'm not just a bridge anymore, he said. I'm the path. The final battle begins next. Chapter 24, Final Eclipse. The citadel groaned beneath the pressure of the battle. Time itself was cracking. Lightning spilled sideways. Suns flickered, died, and restarted in split seconds. Each member of the royal team stood across from their shadow selves in the dark hall, infinite army closing in around them, and at the center, Estevan and Verelda, mother and son, bridge and broken. Ayana versus machine Ayana, metal limbs, no heart, all code. You left our people to love. You gave up love to stay safe. Ayana snapped back. Their fight was a dance of logic versus passion until Ayana outmaneuvered the cold version of herself with a move taught to her by Nyla in secret, a kiss of flame on the circuit's core. Emotion is evolution, she said, breathing hard. Nyla versus Queen Nyla, crowned in fire, regal and bitter. You don't need anyone. I don't need anyone, Nyla said, but I want them. That's power too. She sliced through the pride that once kept her alone, crying as her sword ended the other self. Zephyr versus the vengeful king. I let people die because I was scared, Zephyr admitted, but I won't let myself die with them. His wind shattered the palace wall as he defeated the worst in himself with forgiveness. And then silence. The infinite army slowed, unsure, shaking, as if Estevan's energy was affecting them. He stood tall now, every piece of him glowing, merged with every version of himself that ever tried to do the right thing. She watched him with something almost like love. You are everything I built and everything I tried to destroy. You hurt me, Estevan said quietly. You hurt all of us. I wanted to end the cycle, she whispered. You were supposed to be the key, not the lock. They circled each other like fire and thunder. She offered her hand. Join me. Rule with me. End all realms, all pain. No more heartbreak. He reached forward and pulled her into a hug. The room gasped. You're my mother, but I'm not your weapon. I'm not your savior either. She trembled in his arms. You're just my son. And her body shattered, releasing her final magic. A scream, a flash of violet. She was gone. The eclipse fades. The army disappeared. The skies cleared. The citadel stood strong. But Estevan fell to his knees, drained, sobbing, not out of weakness, but out of weight. Callan caught him. You did it, baby bro. No, Estevan whispered. We did. The realms begin to heal. Award shows in 2024 are lit with royal magic. Beyoncé and Meghan honor Estevan in front of the world. The team is invited as ambassadors of peace across dimensions. Love blooms, wounds still ache. But something darker lurks in the shadows of the spirit realm, because power never really dies, it just changes names. 1 year later. Location, the reclaimed Citadel of Realms. Once cracked and cursed, now a beacon between worlds. Lush gardens bloom along the sky bridges. Music echoes from the marble halls. Magic flows freely, no longer chained. It is no longer forgotten, it is home. Estevan stands on a balcony, overlooking the world he helped save. His hair is longer, streaked with gold now, part cosmic, part legacy. His robe is sheer black with silver embroidery, chest out, sigil glowing softly. He's no longer just a prince. He's a living myth. Behind him, Callan lashed with Zephyr and Nyla, arguing over who trained harder this year. Ayana floats above the garden, building a sound-reactive sculpture from stardust and sound waves. Music plays in the background, a beat built from memory. Old school, powerful, Houston roots. Malachi steps beside it, hair tied up, still rocking rings and boots like a rebel king. You good, he asks. Estevan nods. I miss her. I know, Malachi says. We all do. He slips his hand into Estevan's. But look at what you built. Cut to the Royal Archives. Lil' Kim's spirit visits often, glowing in furs and wings. I told you, baby, B energy don't die. It gets royal. Biggie appears beside her, tipping his crown. Y'all held it down. Now hold it together. Cut to the 2025 Grammys. Estevan walks the carpet in a crystal crown surrounded by his team. The crowd loses it. Beyoncé gives him a wink. Megan throws up a H-Town hand sign. Doja Cat yells, "Okay, royalty," he smiles, but his eyes are deeper now. Wiser. Unbreakable. Back in the Citadel, Estevan kneels in the secret garden. He places a single flower down on a stone with a lion's name etched in it. Thank you, he whispers. And in the distance, across dimensions and dreams, a new threat begins to stir. But for now, the world breathes, and Prince Estevan reigns.
Thanks for tuning into the Prince of Dreams audiobook podcast. Hope you enjoyed the story. Stay tuned for our next series, Prince of Dreams, Clocks and Tea, which premieres September 2025 only on YouTube and Spotify podcast.